Do you recognize a common paradox in life? The more you chase someone, the further they run. The more you beg, the more you lose your worth. The more you explain, the more people devalue your words. This isn't your fault. From a young age, we're taught to try hard, to prove ourselves, to do everything to be recognized. But the cruel truth is, the more you chase, beg, and explain, the more you lose your own freedom. Over 2,000 years ago, the Stoics saw right through this vicious cycle. They believed that people are truly powerful only when they know how to be silent at the right time. Because silence isn't a retreat. It's a deliberate choice to preserve your self-respect, to assert your value, and to turn yourself into an enigma that commands respect. In today's noisy world where everyone is so quick to prove themselves with status updates, desperate explanations, or frantic pursuits, silence has become a luxury. But precisely because it's rare, it holds immense power. Knowing when to be silent is a superpower that not everyone can master. In this video, we'll go through 2 levels. 3 golden rules to help you escape the vicious cycle of chasing, begging, and explaining. 7 practical steps to turn silence into a habit, a genuine power that allows you to take control of your life. And when you understand, practice, and live by these principles, you'll realize silence isn't just the space between words. It's the most powerful voice of a person who has truly mastered themselves. To transform that silence into true strength, the Stoics set 3 golden rules for themselves, a foundation for self-mastery in any situation.
Number 1. Never chase. The more you chase, the more you make yourself the underdog. When you chase a relationship, an opportunity, or validation, you're handing over the power to decide your own happiness to someone else. The Stoics believed that true worth doesn't need to be chased. It shines on its own. Epictetus once said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not." You can't control someone's feelings, your boss's decision, or society's perception of you. But you can control whether or not you chase them. In love, the one who chases loses. The one who maintains their dignity becomes more attractive. In a job, an employee who's always chasing the boss's favor is seen as a tool. But a person who does their job well and holds their self-confidence is more likely to be trusted and valued. When you stop chasing, you don't lose anything. Instead, you become a magnet, attracting what truly belongs to you. Number 2. Never beg. Begging doesn't just strip you of your self-respect. It plants the idea in others' minds that you are not worthy. When you beg for love, you'll only receive pity. When you beg for recognition, you're confessing that you're not valuable enough. The Stoics prioritized self-respect above all else. Seneca wrote, "The most miserable person is the one who is always dependent on the opinions of others." This is because begging is an admission of dependence. Think about daily life. A person who begs for a job opportunity with weak pleas is entirely different from someone who walks into an interview with thorough preparation, solid knowledge, and a confident demeanor. Someone in a relationship who keeps pleading, "Please don't leave me," is certainly less attractive than a person who can say, "I value you, but if this is your choice, I will respect it." Don't beg. Instead, invest in yourself to a point where people must give you what you deserve, without you ever having to ask for it. Number 3. Never explain too much. The more you explain, the more you put yourself on the defensive. A powerful person doesn't need to prove themselves, because the truth doesn't need to be spoken. It reveals itself through actions and calm composure. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "Let your deeds be your proof, not your words." This is the attitude of someone who understands that the more you argue and justify yourself, the more you allow others to control your emotions. In an argument, The loudest person is often the weakest. In a conflict, the one who justifies themselves the most is often perceived as being in the wrong. Silence at the right time forces the other person to question themselves, while you remain calm and composed. Think back to the last time you were misunderstood. If you reacted with a long list of justifications, did the other person immediately believe you? Often, they didn't. But if you stayed calm, continued to do good work, and let your results speak for themselves, others would eventually realize the truth. Silence doesn't mean you're a coward. It's a declaration of self-confidence. When you don't chase, don't beg, and don't explain, you are silently stating, I am in control of myself, and I don't need your approval. These 3 golden rules lead to one common point: a powerful silence. No chasing, no begging, no explaining. Just stand your ground and let your inner calm speak for itself. And to do that, you need to practice. Because silence doesn't naturally become a source of strength. It's a skill, the result of internal self-control. If you find that these 3 rules resonate with you, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's a simple action, but it will help spread the Stoic philosophy to more people. In the next section, we will delve into 7 practical steps. If the 3 golden rules above are your guiding principles, then these 7 practical steps are the path you will walk. These are the specific actions to turn theory into reality. Step 1. Accept the reality. All suffering begins with resisting reality. You don't want to believe that person has left you. You don't want to believe that opportunity has slipped through your fingers. But resistance won't make the truth disappear. It will only exhaust you. Epictetus taught, do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead, want them to happen as they do happen, and your life will go well. Accepting the truth is the first step for silence to become a source of strength. Because when you stop struggling, you can stand still and see reality clearly. And only when you see clearly can you know where to go next. Step 2. Turn inward and focus on yourself. After accepting, instead of blaming others, turn your focus inward. This is the Stoics' key difference from the majority. The majority ask, why did they do that to me? The Stoic asks, what can I learn from this? Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. When someone gives you the cold shoulder, don't wallow in resentment. Use your silence to focus on becoming more attractive. Improve your physique, broaden your knowledge, and develop your skills. When you're undervalued at work, don't spend hours arguing with colleagues. Spend that time doing your job so well that no one can deny your worth. This inward focus is like watering the roots. Others may only see the leaves and flowers on the outside, but the roots determine a plant's true vitality. And when the roots are strong, the tree will grow on its own. Steps 3. Pause and let go. Most mistakes come from a rushed reaction, an aggressive message, a criticism, a condescending look, and you immediately react. But in that instant, you've allowed someone else to control you. Make it a habit to pause. When emotions surge, take a deep breath and count to 10. Don't respond immediately. Don't react immediately. Let the anger pass. Let the emotions settle. Seneca once said, anger, if not restrained, is the worst enemy of reason. When you pause, you reclaim your reason. And when you let go, you realize that not reacting is the most powerful reaction. Your silence leaves the other person with nothing to grab onto. They throw an arrow, but it falls to the ground because you didn't expose your chest to catch it. Steps 4. Set clear boundaries. Silence doesn't mean letting people do whatever they want. Stoics don't tolerate things unconditionally. They know how to establish clear boundaries to protect their energy and self-respect. At work, boundaries mean knowing how to say no to unreasonable requests. In relationships, boundaries mean not accepting being belittled or disrespected. In daily life, boundaries mean being selective about who is worthy of entering your mental space. Epictetus once said, "No one can hurt you unless you allow them to." A boundary is how you retract that permission. Imagine you're a house. If your door is always open, anyone can rush in and mess up your belongings. But if you lock the door and choose who gets to enter, your house will be peaceful. You don't need to be loud to protect yourself. Sometimes all it takes is a firm statement, or at times, just being silent and walking away. The clearer your boundaries, the more weight your silence carries. Step 5. Communicate with action. Weak people talk a lot. Strong people act. Instead of explaining, let your results speak for themselves. When you're doubted, work so well that no one can deny you. When you're looked down upon, improve yourself to a point where your silence makes them uncomfortable. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "Let your work be your philosophy." Words can be ignored, but actions cannot. Silence and action are a powerful pair. One preserves energy, the other releases it in the right place. And the result? Others no longer dare to judge you by your words, but by reality. Step 6. Stay consistent. A single moment of silence might be seen as an accident, but repeated silence, staying calm in every situation, is the mark of strength. When you are consistent, you turn silence into a personal brand. Others begin to understand that you're not the type of person who gets drawn into meaningless arguments. You're not easily provoked, and that's what earns you their respect. Look at the truly strong people around you. They don't need to speak loudly or boast. Their presence alone is enough to make others fall silent. Because they are so consistent that their composure becomes its own language. The Stoics taught that virtue doesn't come from a single action, but from the repeated practice of the right behaviors until they become second nature. Consistency is how you make silence your second nature. 7. Let silence create attraction. Once you've gone through the first 6 steps, accepting reality, turning inward, letting go, setting boundaries, communicating with action, and staying consistent, something will happen naturally. You'll start to become attractive without even trying. Stoics are naturally understated. They don't need to show off their achievements to seek validation. They also don't waste time complaining or explaining themselves to others. This very restraint creates a powerful void, a void that makes other people curious and pay attention to you. In love, the right kind of silence makes you more appealing than begging or justifying yourself. At work, your calm composure earns you more respect than making excuses. In society, your restraint makes you a hard person to predict and a hard person to manipulate. Remember, you don't need to pretend to be mysterious to get attention. That's easily seen through and ultimately backfires. True attraction comes from a balance of speaking little and doing much. When you consistently pursue your own values, live simply, and choose silence when needed, others will naturally feel drawn to you. Silence turns you into an enigma, a person whom others want to understand and get to know. And that's when silence becomes a superpower, a form of attraction that can't be copied. Look back at this whole journey. You don't need to chase anyone. You don't need to beg. You don't need to explain. You just need to stand your ground
Maintain your composure, and let silence become your language.
The 3 golden rules, never chase, never beg, never explain, are like a shield protecting your self-respect. The 7 practical steps, from accepting, turning inward, and letting go, to setting boundaries, acting, staying consistent, and letting silence create attraction, are the sword that forges your inner strength. When you combine both, you are no longer a person who runs after validation. You become the one who is in control. The Stoics understood that true strength doesn't come from loud declarations, but from the ability to be silent at the right time and to act in the right place. Silence isn't cowardice. Silence is a deliberate choice. It's a way of saying, I am not controlled by anyone but myself. And then, one day you'll realize, you don't have to prove anything. Others will feel it on their own. They will sense the respect, the attraction, and the strength that emanates from you, simply because you have learned to master silence. If you feel this video has resonated with you, please take a second to hit the like button. Share it with someone you feel needs this, so they can receive this value as well. And don't forget to leave a comment. Which of the 7 steps do you find most relevant to you right now? And finally, subscribe to the channel, not just to not miss out on future content, but as a commitment that you are choosing the journey of self-mastery to become the wisest and strongest version of yourself.